was a great day yesterday because the Tush Push Hugh Douglas is officially back. And yesterday, after we got off the air, we had a chance to kind of go through some of the details of what happened. Some of the stories started to emerge yesterday of what happened. Let's hear some of it, and we'll react and talk about the future now of this Tush Push. But let's start with Adam Schefter saying, Jeffrey Lurie and Jason Kelce, they made quite the compelling case in that meeting yesterday.
And the way it was told to me was, from one Eagles official, that they think that what's happening on this play is misunderstood. And in that room with Jeffrey Lurie, with Jason Kelce, they were able to clarify how the play is coached and how it's taught. They made a compelling case on safety and taking away the downfield push that turned people off. From an offensive perspective, and this is how it was explained to me from my notes, it's not a linear player crashing headfirst into an opponent. The objective is to play with leverage, get below your opponent, and then rise up to create the wave that the ball carrier can ride. And that's what the Eagles do. And so the league, I think, the people that voted against this play, that wanted it banned, they believe they're taking a proactive stance towards health and safety. But there just weren't enough teams to get it done.
Well, there weren't. And obviously what Jeff Lurie had to say in that meeting, and as you said it yesterday, Hugh, long talked. I mean, he was up there, according to some of the reports, for over a half an hour saying what he had to say. And he said what he had to say. I mean, I'm looking at the ESPN article from Seth Wickersham here. Toward the end of a speech that lasted close to an hour, Lurie made an analogy, telling the room, regardless of whether the play was banned, it was a win-win for the Eagles, adding that it was like a wet dream for a teenage boy to create a play that was so successful, the only way for it to be stopped was for it to be banned. Lurie made sure everyone got the sense that the Eagles walking out winners no matter what. They walked out winners in the vote. And how about Jason Kelce's factor in here? Jeremy Fowler, ESPN, talking about Kelce and how he may have swayed some teams on the fence yesterday.
There was an element of surprise walking out of this building. In fact, some Eagles people were surprised. They walked out thinking that they didn't know what was going to happen. It could go either way, truly, and it was that close. But, talking to some owners here in the building, the Eagles did a good job of potentially swaying some teams that could have been on the fence. I talked to Steelers president Art Rooney II, who said that Jason Kelce and his presence, him explaining the tush push play, why it's effective, why it's not really an injury risk at all, could have swayed some teams. And so the Eagles came full frontal with a plan. Owner Jeffrey Lurie gave an impassioned speech to the crowd, basically saying, look, to be proficient at something only for it to be taken away would be unfortunate.
Well, he was right. It would have been unfortunate. It's not being taken away. We have it for 2025. And Hugh, as we start the show today, we celebrated yesterday. We had Elliott in. We talked about the statue. But now kind of the reality is, all right, it's in for the season, right? We have this play again for the 2025 season. Now what? And Hugh, maybe this is me being petty. Maybe this is you rubbing off on me. But you know what I want the Eagles to do this season?
What's that?
I want them to lean into this. I want to see more tush pushes than ever. I want to hammer it to show the league that they are ridiculous for what they try to do. Goodell, ridiculous for what he tried to do. I want to see even more tush pushes in 2025. Like anytime they're within the 2-yard line, tush push. Anytime it's a second or third and 2, give me 2 tush pushes. I want this thing to be the story of the NFL in 2025 because the league, and we'll get to all the teams that voted against the Eagles, by the way, the enemies of the tush push, we'll get to them, including Goodell. They look ridiculous right now. Keep running it. Run it open night. Again, I want to see Goodell's face on the big screen at the link as the Eagles are tush pushing their way into the end zone. First drive. Hugh, what are you feeling this morning? And should we lean even more into the tush push?
Before we get into this, Joe, and I long talk a little bit, can you hit me with that first line of the Jeffrey Lurie and what he said?
Yeah. You think it's funny? Make me read this again?
No, I'm just saying. I just want to hear it. I need to grasp what I heard.
This is journalism, folks. All right. Seth Wickersham, ESPN. This is his quote and his story, not mine. Okay?
I like how you like to separate before you read it.
Quote: toward the end of a speech that lasted close to an hour, Lurie made an analogy, telling the room that regardless of whether the play was banned,
slow down when you read it, though.
It was a win-win. Dramatic reading now I'm doing. It was a win-win for the Eagles, adding that it was like a wet dream for a teenage boy to create a play that was so successful that the only way for it to be stopped was for it to be banned. By the way, one more thing. Troy Vincent chastised the language in the conversation.
Hey, Hey, Mr. Lurie, anybody over the Eagles that are listening, this is what makes you so special. It's because the way that you formulated that, analyzed that, or you put that visual in people's heads. You put a visual in guys' heads that they could all relate to. That was relatable.
See, this is why you're a true Eagle, because there's petty in that, and you're petty, and you loved it.
The fact that he made it so relatable. Because, listen, I don't want to harp on it, but here I am.
Well, I knew you would.
No, because there were probably guys in that meeting, and when he said it like that, they said, yeah. Joe, they said. And they went back to their childhood or their teenage years in this matter and was like, yeah, I see what
I guess I can't vote against him now.
Man, you gotta love Philadelphia. Okay. I want to give it I got a few things I want to say before I get to this. I want to give a shout out to the Barbera dealer last night because I went to pick my truck fixed, got my truck fixed. And one of the conversations that was had when I went to pick it up was about the Tush push.
Of course.
And about how we are, everybody was excited about it. I want to give a shout out to the people at the rental car place that didn't give me a rental car. And they talked about it. I mean, I know they were doing their job. It's cool. But it's one of those things, man, that when I got off of work yesterday, we talk about stuff that people might think is not that big a deal and things of that nature. I honestly, when we talked about it yesterday, I didn't think it was that big a deal that everybody in the city would be talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Totally honest. And everywhere I went, and people knew who I was and they figured out who I was, that was the conversation. It's just, this is a unique place, man. This is a very, very unique place. It's a wonderful place to work. It's a wonderful place to play. And I was just, there's not a day go by that I'm not fascinated by the Philadelphia Eagle fans. I mean, they're a special group, man. No question about it. But to answer your question, should they run it to death?
Lean into it.
I don't think so. But here's the thing, Joe, and this is what I've always been told. Like as a defender, when you get down to the 20 in the red zone, I should say, the one thing that as a defender you never wanted anybody to do was run the ball on you, run the ball into the end zone. That was the most demoralizing thing you could do to a defense. You could throw it because that's different. But when you run the ball, that's basically you line up, and like my coach Tommy Brazier used to say, that's a man whoop a man. To me, this is the exact same thing. When they line up in the tush push on 4th or 3rd and whatever it is, you know that no matter what you do as a defender, they got something that you can't stop.
Yep.
And you're like, that's why when players talk about it, they're like, oh, hell, they're lying. And when Jordan Mailata said, you know what's coming. You know it's coming. You can't stop it. That is demoralizing. So I don't think that you need to run it to death on teams. Just run it when you have to, because they know that if they put you in a position where you have to run it, they can't stop it.
Over the last few years, I've seen so many times it's demoralizing. The other team, you could see it on their face.
It's like oh, snap.
It's like a 3rd and 7, right? And the Eagles only get 6 yards. And the first instinct the defender has is they celebrate. We just got to stop. We're getting off the field.
Not anymore.
And then they realize, oh, man, they're coming out for the tush push. We got no chance to stop it. Another set of downs. It really is demoralizing.
And let me tell you another thing that I remember vividly. Being on the field, say like if you have a team, and normally, most times, it kind of plays out this way. The Eagles have been driving the ball. It might be an 8-play, 10-play drive. 10-play drives are rough.
Of course.
And when you get in a situation, this is where it becomes demoralizing people, is when, say you're on an 8 or 9-play drive, and you figure out a way to slow them down and stop them and get them into that 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2, a lot of times, teams might look at that, especially if the game is probably closely contested and it's early in the game. They're like, oh, you know what? We got too much football to play. We don't need to take a chance because anything can happen. You can get backed up, especially when, say, it's on your side of the line of the scrimmage or your side of the ball.
You don't want a negative play.
You don't want a negative play. But the Eagles are so confident in this play that as a defender, when you get them in that position, you're out there tired, you're huffing and puffing, and you're looking into the sideline for your replacement, and he ain't coming because it's like, no, y'all got to play this down because we don't know what they're going to be in. And they line up in that, and you know as a defender that you got at least 3 more downs that you have to play.
It's a lot.
Because they're about to get this first down. That's why Frankie Louisville was jumping over the line like that. Because he knew what was about to happen. He was just trying to delay it as much as he possibly could. The bottom line is this, man. Football is a man whoop a man. And Ray Diddy had a line yesterday that resonated with me. You don't litigate football in a courtroom. You don't do that.
You solve it on the field.
You solve it on the field. I was always told with my little T-Rex arms, hey, coach, the offensive lineman is holding me. Hey, that's your fault. Do something about it. And that's the way the game is played, man. And that's how it should be.
I agree. And football to me has always been the minds of the coaches and the greatness of the players, right? And then those two things coming together to stop the opponent, and we get to keep this play for this year. And I want the Eagles to lean into it. 215-592-9494. Where do you come down? The Tush Push is back for 2025. Do you want to see it even more? Like I'm telling you, the pettiness from the guy sitting next to me, it's rubbed off. I want foot on the gas, extra tush pushes. 2nd and 2, run it. 3rd and 1, run it. Inside the 5, run it. That opening night, I just need to see Roger Goodell as the Eagles tush push their way 7 times and blow the Cowboys out. I need more tush pushes.
Can I just say something else? Because I watched a little bit of their response. It was Rich McKay, which I've had a chance to talk to several times in Atlanta.
Was he petty?
No, he was a good dude.
No, but I mean like yesterday.
Oh, no, they really did a great job. Or I don't mean that in a good way, but they did a great job of trying to distance themselves from saying that, hey, we're just trying to do what's best for the game. We're not trying to take anything away from anybody.
So they lied.
We weren't, it was either or for us. We're just trying to do it. It didn't feel that way.
Nope.
I'm sorry. And I know Kyle doesn't feel the same way that I do.
It felt personal.
But it felt a little personal. It felt personal. When you got Mr. Lurie up there talking about wet dreams and, taking away a play that somebody else is proficient at, that's what the NFL is about in a nutshell.
It is.
The West Coast offense was born from quarterbacks not having really strong arms and the short yardage game, the short passing game, in order to effectively get the ball down the field. That's what made Joe Montana so great. He didn't have the greatest arm.
3rd round pick.
Yeah. He didn't have the greatest arm, but he could matriculate the ball down the field and score. And that's when the NFL changed, because they didn't have those big gunslinging quarterbacks, those run and shoot, fun and gun quarterbacks. And that's what the NFL is. I would not be surprised if there are teams that are going to come in and try to learn how to do the tush push. So they want it to be an equalizer. It's almost like you remember The Incredibles? Mm-hmm. When the little boy that was Mr. Incredible's nemesis when he was younger made all the superhero toys, and he said that I'm gonna give it to everybody, so then nobody's super.
Yep.
It's probably gonna be something like that.
It might be. We'll see. I want to see more tush pushes this year. 215-592-9494. Should the Eagles lean more into the tush push in 2025? It's back. I'm being petty. I want even more tush push touchdowns. Kyle, where do you come down as the tush push officially back? Should we see more of it this year?
I mean, I don't see why not. I wouldn't use it excessively. Don't use it on 1st and 10, obviously.
That feels a little excessive.
Yeah.
2nd and 9, all right.
But I don't know why we wouldn't lean into this. It's clearly an unstoppable play to the point where a lot of people in the league wanted it out. I do also believe it's a huge part of the Eagles' physical identity. But also, I think this could benefit the Eagles and just the life of the play in the long term. The more data that they have to bring to the league next year when this inevitably comes back up, to say, look, we just ran it for another entire season and had no injuries in it. I mean, the more they do it, I think the better of a case they make next season for, why are we taking this play out? Is it to be petty? Or is it just because you want to, eliminate an edge for the Eagles? So, I mean, look, I think not only should the Eagles lean heavily into it, I think a lot of other teams in the league should and will lean heavily into this thing. And I think it's going to end up for the betterment of the play in the long term.
Well, the more data they have that there's not injuries. And right now, there's been 0 reported injuries on this. So that data was lies. Dr. Alan Sills and Goodell and all that crap they were trying to spew was nonsense. So there's none of that.
Called out Sills?
Yeah, I did call out Sills. Dr. Sills down with the NFL. All right, 215-592-9494. Should the Philadelphia Eagles lean into the tush push? I just need the first drive of the season against the Cowboys here on September, 4th or
you're
6th.
going to see it.
Oh, I need it. And I need the first touchdown. I almost want, if AJ or Devontae catches a pass inside the 10, I need them to get tackled at the 1. I need a tush-push touchdown to start the season, and that camera right on Goodell squirming up in the booth.